Alrighty, everyone, and welcome to the Extreme Sim Podcast. Episode 1 of this podcast will take a look at our week throughout, and we'll start off with Shut Up and Race here in just a moment. Take a look back at some of the events of the week and where we're at heading in to the weekend. I want to welcome everyone to the Extreme Sim TV Podcast. Hope y'all are having a great night. Something new I'm trying for the channel. We'll see how it works out here tonight and see what we can do with it. Alright, let's take a look here. Without further ado, back on Monday night, we went and tackled Rockingham. It's 103 laps from the Rock. Philip Martin grabbing the win there from Rockingham Speedway. It was a pretty good night. Dustin there grabbed the pole. Did not have the best finish. Dustin Shepard there finished 16th at Rockingham. This is going to affect his chase hopes going forward. Shepard leaving Rockingham still's got a pretty good lead here. 48 points is what he'll have going into next week. Now Shepard, he's had a good year. We take a look at the points or the races he has won. Dustin Shepard has won 2 there in a row back to back. It was going to be Bristol and the Roval back in February 17th and 24th. Since then, he hasn't had any of the wins. He also won way back to see the season opener back December the 2nd. The Snowball Derby he won. Since then, he hasn't had the best of luck. He's finishing good. He's still in top of the points. But I do think Dustin's going to have to turn around and kind of pull everything together. He's got a 48-point lead. But you still got Myrtle Beach coming up this weekend. The next Keystone event and the final one. You got Oxford Plains there on the 27th. And so, with the events you got left, you got at least count 4, 5, 6 until we wrap up April the 30th or April the 20th, excuse me, at Richmond. So 6 more races. He's going to have to come up with a way to hang on. He's only got a 48-point gap. Because if you take a look here at the points that are earned usually in these races, that's a 37 point earned by Phillip there. Versus Dustin got 15. Now, what helped Dustin is the guys directly behind him in points. Well, they didn't have the best night either, so that's going to help him kind of minimize the loss that he had going into Myrtle Beach next week. So I think Myrtle Beach will be fun. It'll be interesting to see how these street stocks handle Myrtle Beach this weekend. It's going to be 108 miles that they will run here this weekend. Alright, if we move on to our show on Tuesday night, and we'll talk about Saturday and Sunday here in just a moment. We go to the Camping Universe show we did Tuesday night. Pretty good race as well. Norman King still trying to turn his season around. And it's kind of weird the year that Norman's having. It's kind of off for Norman King. I'm expecting him to be stronger. Hopefully he can turn this thing around. But right now, just kind of having a rough year. And we'll see if he'll make the chase. We take a look there at last week. Patrick there having a good run at Lowe's as we head into Lucas Oil Speedway this next week. And then we got the Wrangler 266 there from Talladega coming up as well. Then we got an off week on April the 3rd. So it'll be a nice couple of weeks coming up for those guys. Of course, that was ran last night on Tuesday. Patrick with Dustin finishing second in that one. So again, it was a overall good night for those two leagues as we head into iRacing Fantasy Trucks tomorrow night. I expect that to be a lot of fun there from Homestead. I'm looking forward to that one quite a bit. And then, of course, wait a minute, I think we're racing tomorrow night. We go double check that. I think we are. Let me go double check. My horrible broadcaster is late. Let's go double check. Is the trucks running this weekend? Yes, they are. They are running this weekend. And then next weekend at Texas, and then we got a little bit of a break until Richmond for those guys. So again, that should be a lot of fun. And we take a look as we're scrolling through right here from last week's race. I'm going to look at the points here if I can grab the link right quick. I should have all this set up. I did, because I'm good at that. Right now in the truck series, you got Scott up there on with the points lead. Alan Dobbs out of Nice Motorsports sitting there in second. And I tell you what, Alan has had a good year. Nice Motorsports was back there as well. Both those guys have had good years. We go back to Atlanta there. It was an interesting night from Atlanta with Alan Dobbs there finishing first. And it was just a really good night for Alan coming home with the win. Last week at Atlanta, Thor Sport had a good showing. Zachary Smith there. And DGR Crosley, Michael Malley, good showing for him whenever he come on third. Always a good night. So those guys will be back in action tomorrow night. Of course, the National Series as well. Unfortunately, did not get covered last week due to an internet outage. Which, what can you do about those things? So we take a look at all this stuff. It's been a good week as far as leagues go. Also on the channel, which, myself, I do some racing. So what do I think about the new Porsche Cayman? It's a really good car. I enjoy running it quite a bit. Been running it pretty much every week since we've had it. I think I'm second or third in points right now. My ratings took a little bit of a hit, but I expect that to straighten back out before long. It goes up and down for me as far as iRating goes, so I'm not too worried about that. Ran a street stock race at Darlington earlier and it went horrible, so those are the breaks, right? As far as new content coming to the channel goes, I'm always trying to come up with something, but the problem here is I'm a broadcasting channel. That's what I do. I broadcast, and it's hard for me to throw in other sources of content. It's hard for me to figure out what to even put in there. So if you guys have any suggestions, please let me know, because I do not have nothing. I've tried a couple of different things. It hasn't really worked. I haven't been feeling it. So just let me know. Trying this podcast, it's something new that I'm going to try to work around. Get a couple of them out at least, of these podcast style things. Just probably going to be myself and just kind of talk for a few minutes. Anything upcoming, I'm looking around on the forums. Anything I'm doing, this is where you'll find out about it, besides me just broadcasting. So we'll take a look. There's no real special events coming up. See if there's anything as far as pilot challenge form. Now this might be interesting. So, March the 21st, Mount Panorama Driver Club next event. Let's go check this out. This is their driver club page. It's like $5 entry fee. Mount Panorama's Gentleman League. The series is ongoing and using a ranking system as opposed to a normal numbered race championship. Points are calculated using the previous 6 races as a rolling point total. We can run 5 classes. They're the Cayman, Kia Optima. Let me just get you to where you can see this. Let me grab display capture for a second. Hang on. Because this is quite entertaining. Let me get you a scene up. This might be something that I might be doing. It's a $5 entry, $7.50 entry fee. Oh, yeah. So let's see here. Let's actually do it somewhat professionally. I don't need to lose all my professionalism. Taking a look here, something interesting I might try. Yeah, they can check it out. Their next event's March the 21st. What's it actually called? DriversClub.net. Mount Panorama Club. Licenses. Huh. New drivers allows the driver to run MS classes to progress the life. You must complete 75% of the race. So it seems that you must complete at least in the M or S class. CR class. So M and S class is where we'd go in. So where is the M? So I guess I could run the Mustang or the Mazda. I was going to do this. I think I'd run the Mustang. Okay, so taking a look here. Scheduling. Two to 6 p.m. And then we go Lime Rock Park, Road Atlanta, Porsche Challenge Oceana Park. So this is basically all year. Wow. Wonder if this thing is broadcasted or not. I think this is something that I might want to do. Broadcasted live, so I have to get the times down. Entry list here. Man, that yeah. I think I would kind of go with the Mustang for this. Huh. So that's just something I might be looking at doing, guys. So, I do some racing. And besides, if everything lines up, I might do this. 2.2 hours at Mount Panorama. So we'll check on that. And on the second Saturday of each month. And race with a 30-minute warm up. Man, this is to run safety cars here. Oh, we'll have to check that out. But guys, I hope you've enjoyed a little bit of this Extreme Sim TV podcast. We checked out something really cool, and I'm going to do some more reading on this, and we'll see what we can come up with. But until then, thank you for joining the first official Extreme Sim TV podcast, I guess. And I hope to see you next time, guys.